In today's video, I'm making a meal that combines two of my favorite foods, tacos and spaghetti. I'm making mine just a little bit different from the normal recipe. It's going to cut costs and increase the flavor. For the taco spaghetti, you'll need 1 pound of ground turkey. I'm using Jennie-O because I already had this on hand, but the normal recipe calls for ground beef. I'll be using these Rotel tomatoes with green chilies. If you have jalapenos on hand, or you just wanted to buy one to go with a can of tomatoes that you already have, you can do that instead. You'll need some sharp cheddar, and I found some of the Fiesta blend in my refrigerator that I think would work nicely here, but I really do love the flavor of extra sharp cheddar, so I'm going to be using that. I'm showing a 2-pound box of spaghetti, but just plan on using 1 pound or less for 4 people, and then you can either use a taco seasoning that you have in your pantry, or you can make your own. It's easy to make with spices you probably already have in your pantry. I'm using ground turkey, but a lot of the recipes called for ground beef. You can also make this vegan by using Beyond Beef. This is very important. I am not draining my meat here. If you use a fattier product like ground beef, you'll probably want to drain it a little bit, but I would leave some in because it's going to help coat the noodles. Then you'll add the same amount of taco seasoning that you normally add to your ground meat when you're making tacos. At the beginning of this video, I told you I'm making this recipe different from the norm. First of all, I said I'm using a less expensive meat, and also, some recipes call for sauteing diced onions before adding in the meat. My taco seasoning already has onion powder in it, so there's really no need to add additional onions. It's just going to add to the cost, and I don't really like chopping onions anyway, but if you want to, you can go for it. The other way I'm making this different is I'll be cooking my spaghetti separate. And make sure to generously salt the water that you're going to cook your pasta in, otherwise your spaghetti noodles will be bland. Most recipes have you adding 3 to 4 cups of water to the pan with the beef mixture, and then cooking your spaghetti all in the same pan. By cooking my spaghetti separately, it's going to allow me to have a more condensed taco flavor to the noodles, and the noodles are going to turn out with a perfect texture. I've watched several videos of people making this dish, and they always have water left over. Sometimes they mitigate this by adding some chicken broth so it doesn't taste so diluted. I think this is a better way to go, but it will mess up a second pan. There are lots of ways to modify this recipe to meet the needs of your own family. In my case, I only have one person in the house right now that I could feed, so I'm taking some of this meat out, and I'll use it later. The spaghetti noodles will become soggy, so I only made the amount of noodles that I'll be able to use right now. I'm removing the noodles when they still have a bit of a bite to them. That way they'll be perfect when I dip them up. I love this recipe because it has the great flavor of tacos, and who doesn't love spaghetti noodles? I added extra sharp cheddar to the top here, and then I'm going to cover it and let it melt. This is what's going to make it look so appealing. I topped it with some parsley that I found in the fridge, but you could also use cilantro or nothing at all. It's mainly just for appearance. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sample this here. But I'm just going to tell you guys, this far exceeded my expectations. The flavor of this was so intense, and each noodle had the perfect coating of seasoning. This is definitely a 10, and I'm going to say that this is one of the favorite recipes I've ever made on this channel. I hope you'll try this for your family and customize this to suit your own needs. Thanks so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.